tradition. They will bring a qari sahib to the house. He will read the Quran for the child. The child finishes the Quran, reading through the Quran. They have this khatam ceremony for them, and and this is the duty. From then on, that child, if he or she remains somewhat religious, they will recite Quran, read Quran on occasions. For the dead, 40th day, and certain occasions, Fridays, certain surahs, things which have been set up for them, various occasions in which they will read the Quran. And how do they read the Quran? They will divide up the Quran into pieces, siparas, divided up in a group, and everybody will sit with their piece, all in loud voices, and at the end they will dedicate this farce to Allah for the dead, or for this or for that. This we have to change, because it means that people are not in touch with the Quran. We experience this in Taraweeh, when the Hafiz leads the prayer. He is reading at the speed of light. Even the Arabs cannot understand him, cannot understand the Quran at the rate that he is reading the Quran. The ritual, the Quran has lost its place. As the Sahaba related to us, that they used to study the Quran 5 verses at a time, and they wouldn't go on to another 5 until they had understood what Allah had commanded them. They tried to implement it, and they went on to the next 5. This is the only way. So Muslims have to be educated to understand. Yes, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did say, whoever reads one word from the Quran gets 10 blessings. And he said that when I say one word, I mean that alif is a word, lam is a word, mim is a word. 10 blessings. But we have to understand, who was he saying that to? Was he speaking to people who didn't know Arabic? No. He was speaking to his companions. All of his followers knew Arabic. So when he said that to them, he was encouraging them to read the Quran more and more and more. Because the more they read the Quran, the more it affected them. This is why when Prophet ﷺ died, and the wars of apostasy, what is known as Ridda, Hurub al-Ridda, started, where people who had false prophets who came up, claimed they were, Musaylama, Sajah, false prophetess, others claiming that they were prophets, etc. People rejecting Islam. So Muslims had to fight against them. Those who were dying in the battles, those who were in the front lines of the battles, were the Huffaz, those who had memorized the Quran, memorized large portions of the Quran. This is why Umar radiallahu anhu had to go to Abu Bakr, may God be pleased with him, and suggest to him that they compile the Quran into one text before it was lost. Because those in the front lines were the ones who had learned the most of the Quran. But you think today, those who are the Huffaz coming out of our madrasas, are they the ones going to the front line for jihad? Oh. That memorization of the Quran is not motivating them to do anything. You will find amongst them those who will leave India or Pakistan and Sri Lanka or Egypt or whatever, they will go to America and they will be in nightclubs. Yes. Because they were not learning the Quran. They were not preserving the Quran. The memorization of Quran is the preserving of the Quran. Not just the letter, but the meaning. That is what motivated the people in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, his companions, to be in the front lines. So we have to educate them to this reality, that the blessings from reading the Quran comes when you understand what you're saying. You learn to read the Arabic text, but that is not the goal. That is only a step to understanding what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to us. But the Muslim Ummah today have made just the rote parroting of the Arabic sounds and letters the goal. So we have to bring them back to the Quran. Translations where necessary should be used. Until people are able to read the Arabic and understand it themselves, they should be told, you're going to read Quran, you're reading it in Malayalam, then you should, in Arabic, you should read it in Malayalam too. What you read in Arabic, you read in Malayalam. So you understand what is Allah saying to you. This is necessity. And so on. Through the various aspects of Islam, we have to bring people back to Islam as it was practiced in the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in its purity, because we will not succeed except by that way. As Imam Malik was quoted as saying, من ابتدع في الإسلام بدعة يراها حسنة فقد زعم أن محمدا خان الرسالة. Whoever brings something new in Islam which he considers to be good, then he has claimed that Muhammad ﷺ has not fulfilled his mission. اقرأوا قول الله تعالى اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Read, he said, Allah Most High's statement, today I've perfected for you your religion and completed my mercy on you, and I'm pleased with Islam as your religion. Then Imam Malik said, فَمَا لَمْ يَكُنْ يَوْمَئِذٍ دِينًا لَا يَكُونَ الْيَوْمَ دِينًا. So whatever at that time, at that day was not religion, will never be today religion. ولا يصلح آخر هذه الأمة إلا بما صلح به أولها. And nothing will make good the state of the Ummah today except it made good the Ummah of the past. Whatever made the Sahaba great, made them good, that is what will make us great and good. If it didn't make them great, it will never make us great. This was Imam Malik's advice. So this is what we have to educate people to. Back to Islam as it was revealed. The second area is in the area of education regarding the knowledge of this world. Mathematics, English, sciences, etc., etc. We have to revamp, we have to remake our institutions. It is not enough to set up a madrasa that we turn out priests. Priests. People whose only knowledge is knowledge of the religion, and who then are obliged to live off the masses of the people based on their knowledge of the religion. This was not done in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the Sahaba. This was not their way. That is Christianity. They have priests, ministers, people who are holy men or religious men, religious. The people, when they give their sadaqah, their charity, it's given to these people. They live off the people. See, when these individuals depend on the masses of people for their living, then they will not say anything which will damage or affect their source of income. So if the people are deviating in some area, they will not say anything, because if they say something and the people don't like, then they're kicked out, no more money. So you see, this is not Islam, where we have religious institution which just turns out, as I said, mullahs or priests or ministers, holy men, whatever. Our institutions should integrate Islam in all aspects of education. We need to learn mathematics. We need to learn the sciences. But they should be taught from an Islamic perspective. That Muslims need to go back into these fields and give these subjects an Islamic perspective, either by educating those teachers who are teaching these subjects, or by rewriting the textbooks which are used in the Muslim schools, etc. A variety of different methods may be used to achieve this goal. But this has to be the goal for the Ummah, to set up educational institutions which will produce complete human beings. People who will not have in their minds that religion is one thing and life is something else. This is schizophrenia, a split personality. When the child goes and they have one class or two classes of religion, and then the rest of their classes is just straight sciences and so on, so books coming from England or America, Europe, etc., which is all atheistic, secularistic, so on, so, then we are building in the minds of the children a split personality, when in fact it should be unified. Because all true knowledge is from Allah. All real knowledge is from Allah. So there really is no difference between the knowledge of science, which is true knowledge, not theories, but facts, the real knowledge, and revelation. They're both from the same source. So they mix easily. And they should be mixed. And we have to develop institutions with this type of approach, where we will turn out scientists, doctors, engineers, etc., who have an Islamic perspective, who realize that the knowledge that they have puts them in a position of responsibility to serve the Ummah. That it is not knowledge so that they can make a big house, buy a Mercedes-Benz, and just live comfortably. No. This knowledge is from Allah. Allah destined that they would get it because they didn't choose which family to be born in. The child should be made to know this. You didn't choose which family you were born in. You could have been born in a family which